Bolivar, our engineer here in fabulous Boquete. You are listening to Boquete Now Talk Radio on Radio Cherokee 103.3 FM. We are sponsored by Big Daddy's Grill and the ACCB. Now, the ACCB are my guests today on the show, but before they come on, I don't know if you remember, a couple of months ago, we had a lovely person named Melody Ford, who owns a company called Panama Mail. And we had a nice little chat on what they do. And we figured that maybe you had forgotten that, right? So we got her back here again for a few minutes this morning. And we're going to talk about what they do. And I think you're going to be really surprised and you're going to like it. And hopefully you're going to use her services. Hello, Melody.
Good morning.
How are you today?
Good, good.
Good. Glad to hear it.
Thank you for having me back again. Again, I'm here to talk about Panama Mail.
Yeah.
And it's the door-to-door mail and package service. And not only do we do door-to-door delivery, we also assign people addresses, permanent addresses. And we also provide a sign for their yard, an address sign, or the building, whichever the case is. For example, if it's a business or an apartment, then or condo, then it goes on to the building, and everyone has their own separate address.
So a permanent address in Panama.
A permanent address. Ooh. And we are also going to start putting up street signs. Once we have, in Boquete is once we have a fairly good amount of people who actually subscribe and have addresses, then we'll start putting the street signs up so that as you're driving down the street, people can identify what street they're on. Now, we wanted to start in Boquete simply because it was a smaller area.
Sure.
But we found that it's not so much the easiest area to start that service because all of our inquiries are coming from Panama City.
Right, yeah.
So originally we were going to move Boquete, David, Coronado, Panama City. But we switched up and said, well, maybe we better go ahead and get Panama City in January. You know, we still have that open time until December for Boquete to, register. And we've made some other changes, too. One of the things that we looked at is, for example, we're located in Plaza San Francisco. So businesses there really don't have to pay the full registration fee.
Sure.
Because they're located right there.
Right,
their mailboxes will be right there in the post office. So we don't have to do the work that we have to do for everyone else. So that was one of the things that we changed, is that if a business is located in the same complex where Panama Mail is, they don't really have to pay that
deposit
that everyone else has to pay. Well, let's put it this way. It's very, very little deposit that they have to pay.
Sure. Well, that makes sense. I mean, they're right there in the same
they're right
building.
there, and they have to, and their mailboxes will be located in Panama Mail Center, so it's not the same as when we go out and we have to install mailboxes.
Sure.
And we have the mailboxes too, and we're ready to install them, except we can't get the
customers.
The subdivisions, we try working through the homeowners associations and things of that nature, and they, keep telling us, well, after we send an email, we have to see how many people want it.
Sure.
And the thing is, okay, but can you get the email to the people?
Yeah, it would be nice if they just allowed you to go in there.
It
basically
would
knock
be, because
on doors.
we will provide the mailboxes and we maintain them. So it's not something that is going to be a big cost to any development.
Sure.
The only cost they have is if they have to make a pathway or a driveway to get to the mailbox, because they may pick an area that's grassy and they may want to gravel it.
Sure, yeah.
So we're trying to make it as easy and as accessible as possible. And it may be easier probably to do those areas, neighborhoods that are not
Sure.
in a subdivision development.
Well, I remember when we talked last time, the excuse me, it's a different setup for a subdivision or a neighborhood or a gated community.
Yes.
As it is for a private homes in
a neighborhood.
In a neighborhood, yeah.
It is. It's definitely different because you can put the cluster mailboxes there where everyone goes.
Right.
And even in a neighborhood, you can set up a cluster mailbox, but at least in a neighborhood, if it has to be on someone's property, then we will talk with that person.
Sure.
And of course, we will do negotiation with them to put the cluster there if it's on a private property. If it's on city property, then we just work with the municipal and see if we can put it there.
So are all the mailboxes cluster mailboxes, or can a homeowner have their own private mailbox?
There are going to be some neighborhoods we have to give private mailboxes to, and we're trying to make them as cluster as possible because it's easier and faster to deliver the mail.
Sure, yeah.
As opposed to one person having to spread out 20 miles to deliver maybe 10 letters.
So a neighborhood, where like a downtown neighborhood where, the homes are relatively close to each other. Like
Those are very easy because you can
just
set it right there in the beginning and people can stop
and get their
get their mail and continue on.
But I'm guessing in the rural or the outlying areas where there might be, hectares separating houses.
Yeah,
you probably have to do that.
We'll have to do the individual mailboxes. Yeah, we will definitely do that.
Well, a lot of us from North America and Europe that have lived in apartment buildings or have lived in gated communities or condos are already accustomed
to that. Exactly.
You drive up to the cluster of mailboxes and get out of your car and get your mail and go. It's just the way it's done. So I don't think that would be something that would be difficult, to adopt.
And the emphasis I try to make with the homeowners, heads of the homeowners association is, just give us a location to put the mailboxes. When people see the mailboxes, if they want to use them, they can always register for it.
Sure.
And some people have to see that it's actually going to be there.
Yeah, no, I get that. Hey, I totally understand that.
I mean, because I always look at how I would look at things, especially if it's new. Mm-hmm. See, if I had the mailbox right there, I may be more apt to use it. So,
and I'm sure that you all have taken into account, multiple people trying to get their mail at the same time, so that wouldn't back up traffic or anything.
Well, the way it would be set up, there would be no traffic really backup any more than when you go to the mailbox. I may go to any mailbox or post office.
Sure.
You drive up, and that's the reason why we want a nice location. It would either be in the building, if it's in a condo or an apartment. If we can find a location inside the building when people come in,
sure.
I mean, I don't think usually there are a herd of people going in to their apartment buildings. Or if it's outside, there should be a path where cars could circle, park, get your mail, and then drive right on out.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and I could see how, in apartment buildings or condo buildings, I lived in a condo up in New York, and you just walk in the front door, and there's the mailboxes.
There's the mailbox.
You've already parked your car. You've already
exactly.
So there's no backup. That's I think that's something. Oh, I know actually for a fact that's something that a lot of people here have been looking forward to. I mean, now when we have to get our mail, we got to drive somewhere, and then we got to park, and sometimes they're open, sometimes they're not open, sometimes you have to park 6 blocks away, it depends. And it's been a recurring conversation on social media groups about, and it's also been a source of frustration for people who need an address.
Exactly.
You know, whether it be for, you know, government requirements, Social Security or whatever, you know, trying to explain to someone that doesn't live here in Panama
Exactly.
well, we don't actually have addresses. And, well, what do you mean you don't have an address? Where do you live? And, you know, well, I can give you a Finca number or I can give you GPS coordinates, but the only mail I get to my house is my electric bill stuck on my fence. It's not even-
Right. And this would end all of that, especially once we have it incorporated in most of Panama. It would then be that people would use their address as opposed to Panama Mail. In the beginning, everyone still has to use Panama Mail's address so that we know who they are, where they are, and can deliver. But once it's incorporated throughout all of Panama and they understand that once the street signs are up, the addresses are up, then they know still it goes to Panama Mail. We know exactly where to deliver the mail. 100% of the time. There will be no loss of mail.
Yeah, and that's another thing, you know, that I'm really glad to hear, because those of us who have used the postal service here have gotten very sporadic service. And I know that it's underfunded, it's understaffed, and that's not the fault of the people who work there. I know that, you know, I've made some tests on that, and I've had 5 people send me 2 letters, so 10 come to me. 6 of them just never showed up, and one showed up a week later, and the other 3 showed up months. I got my sister sent me a Christmas card in the beginning of December of 2018, and it showed up in April of 2019. So the fact that you can offer consistency.
Oh yes, it's
is
definitely
a big deal.
and 100%, and everything can be tracked. So
We've got a few minutes left, and before we go, I would really like for you to explain to people how this works, the sign-up process, how much subscriptions are, and how they can contact you. I know you're on PanamaMail.net, but if you have phone numbers or whatever, but yeah, how do I just say, hey, I want this?
okay, well, if you want it, the first thing to remember is you go to PanamaMail.net.
.net. Yes.
Okay, you go there. The website is pretty user friendly.
Yeah.
You can sign up right there, and we have discounts for all different things because we don't want income or anything else to stop people from being able to get their mail.
Yes.
So if you have a situation where you feel I really need a discount in this, and this is it's my situation, you know, we work with everyone, but you can go right there online and sign up, and we will take all applications in the order that we receive them. If there's anyone that needs a discount, that has to be made, an appointment has to be made where you come in, because we just ask you to bring certain documents with you.
Yeah.
And 9 times out of 10, you know, you'll get the discount, but we just have that on file as a reason, and because we want to be fair to everyone.
Well, sure.
But we want everyone to have the mail service.
Well, I'm looking on your website now, PanamaMail.net, and if you look under the section where it says fees and tariffs, everything is laid out.
Yeah, fees and
Yeah.
tariffs are there.
Everything is laid out for homes, for businesses, shipping fees, what it includes.
And that's one of the good things. I had somebody who was moving here from the States, and she wanted to send something. And I said, well, you know, we have our Georgia office right there where you are. And you can just go right there and mail it here. If you sign up, you get anybody who does the mail and package fee, you get $500 credit shipping fee every year. So you get that shipping fee that you don't have to pay up to $500 every year. Now, if you don't use the previous year, does it roll over? No.
No.
You just get $500 again the following year.
Sure, yeah.
So, yeah, it's a very easy sign up. I think it's for your basic just letters. It's, what is it, $25 a
Yeah, mail and
25
packages is
mail and
45.
package is 45.
And it explains the credit, the $500 credit there, all in English and Spanish.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yes.
What the fees are, how they broke down. You get your permanent address, a mailbox, and a key, an address stake, and insurance up to $1,500.
Yes.
And your shipping rates for the first 10 pounds are $2.25 per pound,
Yes.
which is extremely competitive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's really good, especially for if you get a lot of packages in.
Exactly.
That could really end up saving you a significant amount.
And
of money.
that's after you use your $500 credit.
Yeah. So I'm seeing here where you can sign up online, you can register online. You have a Q&A section here, which looking at it is very well put together. If somebody wants to, sometimes you just want to get on the phone and talk to somebody.
Oh,
You know.
well, our number is 6481 7030.
And that's on the you really all need to go to this website, panamamail.net, not .com. You'll get a completely different company, and they don't matter. So
And you may not want to sign up after you read.
Yeah. So seriously, guys, go, and I'm going to post this later on this weekend when I post a show. But if you're looking for an address here, and if you're looking for really competitive pricing on shipping, and a whole bunch of credits and insurance, how about we go ahead and support? This is a little local business. You guys, when did you come here? When did you start this?
We started July 1st
Of this year.
of this year.
Yeah. So here's an opportunity to help a new business. I know we've seen a lot of businesses go under here because of the pandemic.
Right.
And I know we all want to support new endeavors here.
And that's the other thing. We will be providing so many jobs
Yeah.
here
Yeah.
because we need people to deliver. We need people to install mailboxes. So we see us really hiring a lot
All right.
right here locally.
All right. Well, Melody, thanks for stopping by.
Thank you for having
And
me.
like I said, everybody, panamamail.net. I know that a lot of you are saying to yourself, man, I wish we had addresses here. I wish we had street signs. I wish we didn't have to pay so much money to have our packages
Talk
shipped.
to your homeowners association.
Yeah, if
That's
you
the
live
only
in-
thing stopping it
If
from
you
being
live
where
in,
you are.
one of the Valle Escondido, Boquete Canyon
Boquete.
Village, Boquete Mountain, there's
Los
a lot,
Molinos,
Los Molinos.
all
Start bugging your
country club.
HMAs, your HOAs.
Yeah.
And tell them, hey, I want this. You pay them every month hundreds of dollars so they can serve you. So there's a good opportunity to get what
Right.
you're paying for. Again, thank you very much, and of course, we here at Radio Cherokee wish you the absolute best and success, and we'll do everything we can to help you out.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Have
Appreciate
a great
it.
one. Thank you.
So now we got to find a way to get the attention of the ACCB people over here so they can. Tell you what, you go run out there and tell them to come in here, and in the meantime, thank you, Melody. In the meantime, I'm hoping that these cupcakes here and coffee are for us. Every time we have Boulevard, every time we have the ACCB on here, they feed us.
Yeah.
That's just great. So, but yeah, really, PanamaMail.net, everybody. That's something that I think we've all been talking about and that we all need. So here we have crawling into the station is Mona Lisa and Brandy. Brandy's new, and I know y'all can't really see anybody. Well, I guess you can. There's a couple of different cameras here, but the hot seat is right there. That's where our main camera is, and then we have another one over here. So, and Boulevard does a pretty good job of swapping back and forth.
Okay, shall we dance?
And yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. You're okay. So we have. Yeah. I was just saying to everybody, that's been listening, and if you're watching on YouTube, or when you do watch on YouTube, that there's cupcakes here, and there's coffee, and this is, we love the ACCB. They sponsor the show, but every time they're here, they give us food. Oh, so and oh, look at this, man. So you really can't see this now if you're listening. But You ain't lying. So now, what is this? This is a raisin
muffin.
A raisin. We got raisin muffins, and put one over there. And oh, well, yeah, I just dropped one. But you know what?
That one's yours.
That one's mine. Let me see if I can reach down here again.
It doesn't matter. There's enough there.
We'll just put that over there. This will be the official show muffin. And we got coffee. So anyway, today on the show we welcome back Linda Hart.
Hello.
See, you have an infectious smile. Just I wanted to let you know
do?
that. Yes, you do.
Yes.
It makes us all sick. I'm kidding. No, but I'm boom.
I have a COVID smile.
A COVID smile. And we got Mona Portelens. I got it right. Did I get it right? I got it right. And Brandy's new. Well, I mean, she's obviously not new. She's been on the planet for a while, but she's new to ACCB, and I keep forgetting, to wear my ACCB shirt because this is like the uniform. This show is what, almost 2 years now, Bolivar, and I've worn the shirt for every show, and I need to get a new one because it's starting to get kind of ratty. Hint, hint, Roger. Size large. Maybe the next one with short sleeves, but. I am a member also of the ACCB, and they are a fantastic organization. And if you don't know who they are, and if you don't know what they do, well, shame on you.
We're having our next meeting next Wednesday.
This coming Wednesday.
This coming Wednesday at Stone Cabins, right? Aren't you still at Stone Cabins?
Stone Cabins.
Stone Cabins,
Stone
yeah,
Cabins.
behind Casa.
Yeah, at 11 o'clock, social hour to 12
Have some
o'clock, our
coffee
meeting
out.
starts.
Yes,
So
I'm gonna have some coffee.
please come.
Yeah,
Come and find out about us.
and you know what? The ACCB is not just a charity; they are a charity to other charities, and the scope of people that we help. It was started off with first responders.
Yes.
It started off with the fire department, police department, and I guess emergency services, and it has grown from there. To include, so many different things, duck races and just all kinds of really cool stuff. And as I've come to expect, I have a little cheat sheet here, because there's so many things that we have to cram into a short period of time and I tend to ramble, because it's just what I do. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to start off with the first thing on the list, because it's the first thing on the list, right? And Linda is going to talk to us about bingo and trivia. And bingo and trivia is a lot of fun.
It's a lot of fun.
And if you haven't played bingo
It's
at
a
the
lot of fun.
ACCB, well, you haven't played bingo. Let's just face it. It's just, nothing else counts. So let us know what's going on with bingo and trivia.
Well, we're still at La Posada every Tuesday. We rotate between bingo, and we just had bingo this past week, and trivia. So it starts at 4 o'clock, doors open at 4 o'clock, game starts at 5. And we moved it up an hour so everybody could get out and get home, because some of us older people don't like to drive after dark. So we can get out and,
Yeah.
still have a good time and come and play
Well, I
bingo.
remember the last time, we did the ACCB show, you were talking about moving it, moving it up a little
Yeah.
bit because of that. And I'm glad there are a lot of us here. I have night blindness.
Yeah.
I have
a
like
lot of
20%
us do.
vision at night,
Yeah.
and you could take 19% of that off when it's raining.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So, and
What do you
you know, it's like every week the attendance gets bigger and bigger, so the word is getting out.
Yeah.
And we're really happy about that, and so we're grateful for that. And we have to thank Mark Rosen,
Yes.
our dear friend,
Yes. Very
who
sad.
come home from Las Vegas and said, we have to have bingo in Boquete. We have to have bingo in
Mm-hmm.
Boquete. I said, I don't think so. We have to have, look, I bought all this stuff. So
Yeah.
he started it, and it's just taken off.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
thank you, Mark.
And we do miss him. If you haven't heard that, we lost Mark last Friday morning, early in the morning, and he will be missed. Very, very
Yeah.
much so.
Yes.
Very much.
Okay, so this is something that we talked about last time you were on. It wasn't quite solidified yet, but it's the comedy fashion show. And then you said that by the time you come on the next time, you'll have more information. And I see, because I can read, that you have more information. So tell us about the. This is
Mona
gonna.
talk
Now,
about that.
is this all right? This is Mona.
Well,
All
actually,
right.
we're kind of bouncing it.
Yeah.
We're all kind of still working on it, but this comedy fashion show is definitely going to be in honor of Mark.
Yes,
because
absolutely.
he was the one that suggested us making it a comedy
Yeah.
fashion show, and we're working on it, and it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have it at the Tap Room, and it's going to be in November.
Mm-hmm.
And ladies out there, you do want to attend, right?
Yes.
Well, last time you actually brought articles of clothing.
Yeah.
Some of it was really cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
Some of it was very cool.
So we are going to do that, and we got some surprise things going on with that.
Yeah,
So we're really excited.
show up to see.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you got to be there.
Yeah.
You know, if you're not there,
Be
then
there or
you
be
just
square.
you're just gonna
Yeah.
miss everything.
And
you
a
know.
lot of these things go back to Mark. I mean, he's going to be very, very much missed
Yeah.
for a long time.
Yeah.
But this was his idea to do a comedy show, and the rest of the stuff was all his idea.
Yeah.
So
I think Mark, outside of maybe one or two people over the past couple of years, he was my most frequent guest. And every time
Yeah.
he'd come here, he'd bring me a sandwich.
yeah,
He'd bring me lox and onions on an everything bagel.
Oh.
So now I call now, you know, the Rosinator. And when I go over to Mort's, I get a Rosinator. So if you haven't had one, go over there and get one. It's
well, one day I was sitting with Mark outside, you know, at Mort's Bakery, and somebody walked in and looked at Mark and said, "Hi, Al." And
I
he
know.
started laughing.
That was a standing joke between him and I. I see him in the
He
street.
was
He go,
Mark.
"Hey, Mark." I go, "Hey, Hal."
I think people got you guys confused.
Oh, that
I
was so
said,
funny. That was
How
so.
do you do this?
Yeah, no, that actually became a standing joke when we text back and forth to each other. You know, he'd say, "Hey, Mark." I'm like, "Yeah, okay." But yeah, no, he'll definitely be. He and had done so much for this community that I know that
Unbelievable.
you know, if you want to honor Mark, go to the comedy fashion show and
Yeah.
participate
Yep.
in it and in November. And the Tap Room is the old BCP theater behind Tap
Correct.
Out, in case
Yeah.
you know you don't know there. And
Yeah.
they've revamped the whole thing. All the seats are out. It's flat. It's like a little club.
Got a new floor.
Now, new floor. So and there's a lot more light coming in.
Yeah.
So yeah. So all right. So Camarca, you got a trip coming up. And who's doing this? Who we kicking this to now?
Ba-dum-bum-bum.
That's
I guess it bounced.
and that's going to go to Linda Hart.
Well, again, our next quarter is up. We're going to do it on September 24th,
Mm-hmm.
Friday. We always use the bus from Esperanza,
Yeah.
and we use the bus driver. Thank God for them.
Mm-hmm.
And we go up to where all the kids are, that the indigenous kids that used to come down to Esperanza before COVID hit.
Yeah.
You know, and they can't come
No.
down
that's-
there anymore. So we go up there and we make trips. So we hit like 750 kids, and it's a long day and it's a lot of work, but
But
it's
so much.
so much fun.
Yeah.
It's so much
Especially when
fun.
when you see the faces
Oh.
of those kids.
And they love Tia Bell.
Tia, oh.
Absolutely love
How many
her.
names do you have for crying out loud?
Too many.
Some of them we
can't
can't.
say on the
Some of them we
radio.
can't say. This is a family show, but if you send me a private message, I'll send you a list with a disclaimer. Yeah, and so the stuff that's brought there, these donations, and I'm reading here that we need. I keep saying they. You know, I'm part of this too.
Yes.
Dang
Yes.
it. We need notebooks, pencils, cookies. Cookies are very important, by the way.
Yes.
It's one of the 5 major food groups. Toothbrushes, erasers, soap, dry bags of dog food, And Wednesday, the September 22nd, from 10 to 11:30. Is that when the assembling, the bag assembly?
No, that's a drop off.
That's the
Anybody that wants
drop-off.
to donate at that time at the Boquete Country Club.
Okay.
What is it? A hall or it's just
It's there.
Yeah, it's our exercise room, our
And
little
Clubhouse.
gathering.
The clubhouse. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
it's close to the tennis courts and the horse.
Yeah.
Horses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you come in the gate, to the country club, make that first right, and just travel down, and you'll see the
When you see the stables, it's right there.
You can't miss it.
By
So,
the swimming
on the
pool.
upside, yeah.
Yeah.
it's on the right side. It's
Yeah.
pretty much the last structure on the right
Yeah,
side.
and we've always had either Joe or Bill or somebody sitting at the gate. If anybody doesn't want to just come in, they can drop
Just
off
drop
stuff
off.
and
Yeah.
things at their car. So, the drop off is what it starts at 10:30,
10 o'clock.
10 o'clock
To 11:30.
and we're gonna gather all things, put things together, and the actual assembly starts
At noon.
at noon.
That's what we said, from noon
For
to 2.
for 2 hours, and we're gonna every time we get a little bit more organized, and so it should go smoothly. We'll have bags. We get like 750 of these little bags, with the handles
Yeah.
on it, colored bags for the kids to
Nice.
give out. They just, and they look for us.
Oh,
I
yeah.
really think that they know when we're
Yeah.
coming. And the other thing that I didn't put on here is
Bags.
what we're taking up now is rice and beans. So we want to feed the whole
Feed
family.
the whole family. Yeah, sure.
So we're
sure.
asking for
You know,
bags of rice and beans.
We take so much for granted,
Mm-hmm.
We really do.
Yes,
And
we do.
a lot of us, and I know especially you guys, have spent a considerable amount of time in the indigenous areas and in the outlying rural areas where there's a lot of poverty. And when you look, when you're there, when you see how they live and the conditions they live in, it elicits an emotional response. However that may be. You can't walk away from a situation like that without wanting to do something.
Yeah.
Especially
Yeah.
when those kids are sitting there with these ear-to-ear grins, eh, Linda?
Yeah. Coming up and hugging your leg. It's just,
I know, right? Well, and a lot of us here, especially in this area, in Boquete, we've got a pretty good amount of resources, and it really doesn't take a lot. It doesn't really take a lot, I mean, a lot of us here have pensions, we have Social Security, we have annuities, there are things, we have income, and comparatively, many of us have more coming in a month than a lot of these families have coming in, not in a year, but in spans
Yeah.
of years.
yep.
And this community is one of the most generous communities I've ever lived in. Every time there's a need for something, we step up.
Yes.
And the ACCD organizing all of this. There's no excuse, right?
Yeah.
It's like you said, drive up to the gate. Someone will be standing out there. It's so easy to help all of these families, and especially what they've gone through with the pandemic.
And also, I'd like to recognize the Knitters Group because they have donated so many blankets and
Oh,
sweaters
yeah.
and things
Oh, yeah, yeah.
that we bring up to the Comarca. So I really want
Yeah.
to say thank you very much to
Yeah,
them
and
too.
there's I've
In the bakery, thanks
Yeah.
to Rabbi and Hannah and Mark, the bakery has
Yeah.
been just wonderful for us.
Yes.
I think I told you the funny story. They made cookies, but we couldn't call them Christmas
Cookies.
cookies, and they made hard-boiled eggs, and we couldn't call them Easter eggs. I said, whatever you want.
Whatever you want us
We'll
to call them.
whatever you want.
This, yeah, I know that, and I remember what Mark was telling me when he was on the show at one point, the process of making those Easter eggs.
Oh gosh, it was hilarious.
Oh my! I can't even imagine. Then he sent me some pictures, which I have somewhere on my phone, and I was like, "It was 600
Yes.
and something."
They made over 700.
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
they did.
Yeah,
Yep.
I mean,
Yeah.
it would take for us to do that at home.
my
It would
gosh.
take us 3 days.
Yeah.
Couple hours. Yes.
Easy,
Yep.
easy.
So-
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I'm just gonna say I really want to, I'm grateful for everything that
This
you know,
community.
Rabbi and
Oh my God, I know.
Hannah, and
I know.
I just love them. And I was over to Rabbi's the other day, and we're trying between ACCB and you know, the Jewish community.
Yeah.
We're trying to do something memorial for Mark.
Yeah, that'd
So-
be. And you know what? It's. I know because of the tradition and the traditions and practices. The memorial service, the funeral was it had to be done very quickly.
Yes. Yeah.
Because he died on a Friday and
Yeah.
Sabbath was at 6 o'clock, everything had to be done right then
Yeah,
and there.
yeah.
And there were a lot of us, myself included, that I wasn't even in town.
Yeah.
Would really appreciate being able to come out and pay our respects and to, you know, say, I guess, our final, you know, goodbyes. But I know you'll keep us informed on that. And I had an opportunity to speak to the rabbi on the phone several weeks ago about something else they're working on. Take a minute, I think he's calling it, or that was just take a minute to do whatever you want to do to just to calm yourself.
Yeah.
Which sometimes when you're scrolling through Facebook, you need 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Sometimes I turn my phone off and throw it in a drawer because I get so mad. But anyway, yeah, there's a lot of things that the rabbi and his group are doing. And it's really nice to see that the ACCB, that we're kind of coming together to help. It's just,
Yep.
it just,
Yeah.
you know, engenders that feeling of community. You know, we could all get along, and especially in a time when there are so many of us that aren't getting along, right? You know. So.
And we have one of our members, Jimmy McCormick.
Yeah.
He lived in the same division complex
Yeah.
where Mark lived, and he is starting for ACCB, but he's doing most of it to take donations towards putting a headstone for Mark, which I think is, so anybody that wants to, you know, donate or be part of this.
Is that going to be in the community cemetery?
Yes.
Because I know that the Jewish group has a section
Yes.
back
yes,
there. Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
He's right there next
With
to
Mark.
Mort.
Okay.
You know, perfect spot for him.
Right? Yeah. Yeah.
He can't get away from Mort's Bakery, you know. Leave it to Mark.
All right. So let me just before we go on to the next thing, condense this a little bit. The trip to the Camargue is going to be Friday, September 24th, to deliver the notebooks, pencils, cookies, toothbrushes, erasers, bars of soap, dry bags, dog food, rice and beans. That is going to be dropped off at the Boquete Country Club at the clubhouse on the 22nd between 10 and 11:30, and from noon to 2 will be the assembly of the bags. And will there be someone at the gate?
Yes.
And there'll be someone at the gate. You know, if you want to just do a drive-by fooding,
There you go.
right?
Joe's got a new name.
You can just slow down and but everything is going to be done to make sure that it's as convenient as possible, to do this. And
Just please don't throw the beans and rice at Bill.
it's
as you go by.
yeah. Well, Bill, throw
No,
the
or
cans,
someone.
dude. People throw the cans as hard as you can. No, okay. If you aim for his head, it'll bounce off. Well, nobody gets hurt, right? No, we kid Bill.
It's gonna come around.
Oh, I know. It always does. It always does. That's what my wife tells me. She goes, karma's a thing. And I'm like, yeah. And then next thing I know, I stub my toe. And it's like, aha!
Maybe we should put Al at the gate. Replace.
Thanks, Brandy. Boy, the new person's now throwing me under the bus. Okay, we see how you are. All right.
That's why we brought her.
Yeah, we remember this. Now, I want to talk about the duck races.
Okay.
Because that's the next thing on the list. And if anything I'm known for is following lists. And if you know me, you know I just lied to you.
Does Day know that?
Yeah, she does. She does. She's without her in my calendar, I would be wandering aimlessly around Boquete with tools, right? So it's fine. You had live baby ducks at the duck races.
We did.
Yeah, you were telling us how you were going to try to do that.
We did.
Was that from Bert? Did Bert supply those?
I don't know.
No?
Bill got them from a farmer.
Yeah.
We just
okay,
rented
yeah.
them for the day.
Oh, we rent your ducks. Yeah. Yeah, we'll give you. Never mind. We can go there. That's got to be pretty cool. Did
It
they
was
enjoy
cool.
that? Did they?
I think the adults enjoyed it more than the kids.
Probably,
No,
yeah.
I think
Yeah.
the kids did too. Yes, but
So my husband babysat those ducks all day, and it has been the highlight of his year. I guarantee it.
Oh,
He
my
hasn't
gosh.
stopped talking about it yet.
yes,
He was
thank
going
goodness.
around looking for Kleenex or anything he could to put on top of them to keep them warm. I
Little
was
duck
waiting for him to
blankets.
sit on 'em.
Little duck
Yeah,
blankets.
he would have if he had to.
Oh my God, that's.
I don't know. That would have been good for the ducklings, though.
Yeah, but things can go a lot worse for ducks than being covered with a blanket, right?
And poor Bill had to pick them up. He had to keep them overnight to the next day, and he didn't have any place to keep them at night, and they kept squawking. So he got salad bowls.
You put a duck in a salad bowl, you know what the next step is. I'm just saying,
I am never eating soup or salad at his house again.
You're pulling feathers out of your teeth. Yeah, no, that's really cool though. I know, my dad was a chicken farmer, and we had, I don't know, somewhere between 22 and 25,000 chickens
Wow.
in our backyard, which was huge. Obviously, it was a farm, and whenever there were the chicks, everyone from kids from just everywhere, they all wanted to pick them up and play with them, and as they got older, then they became afraid of them and didn't want to go near them. But the babies, it was like a magnet. It was like a kid magnet.
Yeah, yeah,
everyone wants to come,
yeah.
and then you see them sitting there. I still have pictures somewhere of the kids sitting in the grass outside the chicken houses with all these little baby chickens and ducks and whatever just all over them, that covered with them. It was like, that's a postcard right there.
Yes, yes.
So that's very cool. That's very cool. You had guessing game. How did that go? Did they guess?
Yes, the kids. We had jelly beans and M&Ms in a jar, and they had to guess how many were in there. And I was surprised at how little they put in there, because it was over 100 candies, and the highest was 97. that
Well,
they-
I remember you had brought the examples, and I remembered this only because you wouldn't let me take one home. But yeah, that I remember you brought that. You brought those here, and also obviously the donation table for the 50-50.
Well, we had a donation table, and we also had a 50-50 raffle.
Yeah.
And then we had the live music from
From my friends at Cafe Con Leche.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
were great. They
Yes.
were great. They
Yes.
made all the winter announcements.
Oh
Yes.
man,
Yeah.
those guys are great.
I told them we couldn't do anything again without them.
No.
They said, okay.
No, I'm sure. No, yeah, I know
And of
those
course,
guys. Yeah.
Capo sponsored a special for the day, and
Yeah.
that was quite popular.
Yeah, they run out.
Yes.
So you have got here on my handy piece of paper, my crib sheets, the results of the duck races. You want to?
We're gonna let Brandy talk about
Oh, okay, Brandy. That's right, Brandy, the
Yeah,
the
so-
new person.
We are not
I
going
love your
to-
haircut, by the way.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
We are not going to go through all the names, just because we don't want to slaughter any of these names that we may not be able to pronounce.
That's the whole fun of it. No, I understand. I
Yeah.
get it. I know. Yeah.
But real quick, I want to say thank you to everybody who bought a duck, and congratulations to all the winners, especially Patrick O'Brien, who was our grand winner.
Yeah.
And if you don't know who Patrick is, that's Memphis's dad, the lovely golden retriever
Yeah.
that everybody sees
Oh, yeah.
and loves, that walks herself with her leash. Yeah,
Yep.
that's Patrick's dog. So, and then we had one very special winner, at least as far as I'm concerned, because this was the highlight of my day. We had a young kid named Kaylor who won first place in race number 4, and he was just super excited. And so when we did the sixth race, the grand prize race, I was really hoping that he would win.
Didn't he?
Oh yeah. He I took his duck to him and let him wish it good luck
Aw.
and everything before
And he
we
kissed
put
it.
it in.
Aw.
Yes. And I was really hoping he would win, and of course he didn't. His duck actually ended up getting caught, but as the universe does, look out for everybody.
Sure.
It worked out the best way it could,
Yeah.
because if he had won first place, he would win money. but
Yeah.
instead he won a trophy.
Oh yeah.
And when I gave him that trophy,
I can
he
only
just
imagine.
lit up. It was so awesome.
Oh man.
And so yeah, it was the highlight of the day. And then he, with the money he did win from the race number 4, he took all of his friends out to get ice cream.
Oh wow.
Yes, yes. So
Isn't that
That's
cool?
a future businessman or a politician right there, man. Yeah.
So yeah, as far as I'm concerned, Kaylor was the big winner of the day, just
Wow.
because it was so much fun. He was so into it, and it really was.
All right. So I know you probably can't say anything now, but maybe by the next time you guys come on the show, there will be more information about that.
Yeah.
Yes.
I know that the first one was everybody had a great time in spite of the fact that there was inclement weather and there were other issues. It all worked out,
Yes.
and
It did.
I know before the first duck race we had you guys. I had Mark on. And he had all this. Well, we're hoping that this doesn't happen, but everything just ended up
worked.
working
Yeah,
out.
it worked
working
out
out
fine.
fine. And if
Yeah.
you live in Boquete and you have a problem with the rain, you're probably in the wrong community.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean,
Especially this time of year.
yeah, it's I love the rain.
Yeah.
It doesn't bother me at all. And sometimes I'll sit out back and just listen to the rain.
Yeah.
And the trucks.
Yep.
Well, I live on the main road on a hill, so
The rain is actually part of what brought my husband Chris and I here. We
Yeah.
love the rain so much too. Yeah.
now we got a few minutes left, and I would like very much to point out a momentous occasion that Joe and Linda. Joe and Linda are celebrating today
Today,
your 50th wedding anniversary.
yes, sir.
50 years.
50 years. But
And they haven't killed each other. Day and I just celebrated 30, and we're like, we good? We're good? Okay, 10 more years? We'll see if you're still here. But yeah, that's 50 years. Wow.
One of the last things Mark said to us was, he put me in for the Nobel Peace Prize.
Yeah. Well, it is Joe, right? So we understand that. I mean, if you obviously are the most patient woman on the face of the earth.
Well, and he has to be too.
And he has to be too. Yeah. But
It's-
after that much time, you like share a brain. I mean, I think after any length of time, in my case with Day, she usually has the brain. And I just lift heavy things,
Yeah,
which is fine. It's been working out great, But 50 years, wow.
I know.
Where did you guys
So-
meet? Because now we're going to give you questions, that's going to put you on the spot.
We're from the Detroit area, so we both worked at the tech center for General Motors,
Oh,
and that's how we met.
wow. Met at work.
And within 3 years, I was making more money than him, and he said that ain't gonna work. So he quit and he became a policeman, and he's. I spent 30 years in the police
Yeah.
department. That's how it worked.
Wow.
It was
And,
very
and,
simple, plain,
And you guys,
And we dated 7 years before we got married.
so it's actually probably going
57.
57 years.
Oh,
Wow.
Yeah.
So
Take that
basically,
long to make up your mind.
so and how long did you start dating? I mean, how long after you first met did you start dating? Was it like right away when you met?
yeah,
or-
I started work there in August. And November, he asked me out to the Marine Corps ball because he was in the Marines.
Yeah.
And so it was a very formal
So it's
event.
pretty close to 58 years.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, with the same man.
See, I'm 58.
And the same woman. Bless his heart.
Yeah. No. Joe is.
I'm an Irishman. I'm a true Irish Canadian. You got to
Well-
give him some credit.
And my wife's married. My wife married a Sicilian,
There you go.
and she's Irish. So
Oh,
yeah, so
bless her heart.
with a little Dutch thrown in there, just for color, right? So,
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, we all here at Radio Cherokee would just love to wish you
Thank you.
a happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary, Joseph.
And yes, Joe, I'm guessing you're listening. I'm hoping you're listening, or else all these like ribs and jokes are just going out to dead air, right?
I turned the station on for him before I left.
Oh,
So
awesome. Well, Joe, you know that we really adore you here at the show, and thank you for convincing Linda to finally come on the show, because it was him the first couple of times.
yeah.
And it's always good. I'd like to have Joe back on the show
He needs to come
at some point to talk about Joe things.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Now, you got a birthday coming up Wednesday.
Yes, I do.
You know, and
Yeah.
so you'll be what, 52. So
Yeah, right.
yeah, that's great. Well, wait a minute. We just said you were together 57 years. No, never mind. We won't even go there. We won't even go there.
Well, he was engaged to my mother first.
Okay, all right. So there you go.
I
yeah.
was born then.
I know. Hey, you know the weirdest thing I ever found out was that my mom used to date my uncle, and dropped him, and then started dating the brother, and then I'm like, and I'm looking in the mirror. Do I look like Freddie, or do I look like? Hey, we're about out of time now, aren't we?
But
We're
one-
about out of
one-
time.
one more
One more thing.
The party girls are back for another bus trip, and they'll get you
in September.
Yeah.
We're going to be putting an announcement on Judy Tovar and me. The bus girls are back in business. It's
All
going to be a
right. Fun,
fantastic
fun.
trip.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're really out of time because Bolivar is looking to throw something at me. So, you've been listening to Boquete Now Talk Radio on Radio Cherokee 103.3 FM with Linda, Brandy, and Mona from the ACCB, and we
Thank
had
you,
Melody
Mel.
Ford on from PanamaMail.net. Thank you very much. Pass buen dia, everybody. See you next week.
Thank you.
Thank you.